Bioimpedance analysis. Love this test. Well proven scientifically. We've used it at DBC for over 20 years with good reason. It gives us so much information so easily about your health. It measures some very important biomarkers. Make sure that if you come in to do the BIA, that you're not wearing pantyhose, that you do not eat an hour before testing, and no extreme exercise 12 hours before we test. No caffeine, please, and do not consume alcohol 24 hours before testing. Make sure you're well hydrated. It will give us a better, more accurate test. One of the first things that shows up on the BIA is a phase angle. Phase angle is an overall GPA of your health. It's a very accurate assessment of overall oxidative stress, aging stress within a cell, really your nutritional status. If your health status is going down, phase angle goes down. When it's rebounding and going up, it goes up. It is a wonderful overall measurement and will allow the doctors to see if you're responding to the therapeutic modalities that we're giving you, to your lifestyle changes. Keep in mind that as we age, it does drift downward a bit. Our goal is to keep you above 5. The theoretical perfect is 10. Really, it's an unrealistic number, but why not shoot for it? It's a very valuable tool that seems to be the hallmark of your health trend. The other thing that we look at is muscle mass. Muscle mass is very important biomarker of health. It's what gives us energy. It's what balances your hormones. It's what is partially responsible for sugar regulation. It soaks up toxins. It's part of your immune system. It is part of our strength, of course, and yes, it makes you look good. So muscle mass responds not only to being fit athletically, to exercise, it's also a big responder to what's happening inside your body. For example, we use it for Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. It's an accurate measurement. If we have a flare-up of Crohn's or ulcerative colitis, the body uses muscle as fuel to help fight it. If a patient is very inflamed, very ill, muscle mass always goes down simply because, again, muscle mass is used as fuel. It's part of the immune system. It's part of our metabolism. It also is a measurement of how well you can absorb proteins. If a patient has malabsorption syndrome or anything going on in the gut that may impede absorption of proteins, muscle mass goes down or simply does not respond to exercise like we would think it should. With women, we really would like this number to be at about 35%. 38% is optimal. Anything over 38%, you're in athletic territory. I love that area, but it doesn't necessarily give you better health. So between 35 and 38 is your goal. I see plenty of them under 30, unfortunately. And at that level, it is very difficult to maintain health, energy, hormones. So let's work on getting that number up. Another thing that we can measure is your metabolic rate. It's the rate your body's metabolism burns calories at rest over a 24-hour period of time. So this number, of course, is altered when you exercise. This number, again, the higher the better. Who doesn't want energy? Who doesn't want a fast metabolism? With low metabolism, this can be an indicator of low muscle mass, thyroid issues, adrenal problems, other metabolic disorders. Again, we want that number with women to be at least 1,500 to 1,800. Higher is better. Once it drops down to 1,200 or so, we're really looking at some serious metabolic issues that need to be addressed. Body fat. Most women, this is their enemy. There is an ideal territory though. Less is not always better. You want to be at least 18%. Athletes we allow to drop down to 15%, but anything less than that, it starts to hurt immune function. You get sick more often. There's no reserves. Hormones start going all over. So 15 is the bare minimum. I frankly get a little uncomfortable when it drops below 18 with women, but some athletes temporarily need to be lower. When it's over 30%, it becomes very inflammatory. It becomes angry. We like to call it angry fat. It is always spewing out these inflammatory molecules full time. It affects you like an anchor. It will burden you. You don't want to be over 30%. So what is the ideal? Somewhere between 18 to 23%. And where your fat is stored is, of course, very important as well. And if you are storing fat mainly in the belly, you are looking at some serious adrenal or sugar issues. If it's more in the hips, estrogen issues. So if it's all over, you're looking at more just eating too much, not exercising enough, or overall metabolic disorders. So to repeat, fat, very important. It is not just for how you look, it's a very important component of health. Water is another biomarker that we measure. Total body water is pretty important. I find it to be one of the top nutritional deficiencies that we measure at DBC. Total body water needs to be at least over 50%, and ideally, I would like it 60 to 65%. When it drops to less than 50%, your joint health will suffer. Synovial fluid, which is the slippery stuff that keeps things moving, declines. Skin health suffers. Brain becomes foggy. You become less sharp. And overall organ function declines, including the mitochondrial function in the cells, which would then go back to our other biomarker, decrease your phase angle. So water is cheap. Let's ingest it. Let's get it over 50%. If you have been less than 50% for a long time, it takes a bunch of months to get it back up. Your body is no longer used to having that amount of water in it, and you will urinate most of it out, but little by little, you will get it over 50%. Remember the ideal, let's get it over 60. A very important subcomponent of your total body water is how much water you have inside cells and how much water you have outside cells. So let's cover the intracellular water first. Cells are a little bit like grapes. Think of the intracellular water as the water inside the grape. And if you start losing that intracellular water, that grape starts looking more like a raisin. And all the functions within that cell starts declining precipitously. Mitochondrial function goes down, thus energy production goes down. The function of that cell declines. So let's say, for example, this happens to be a liver cell. Your detoxification ability goes way down. Your ability to regulate sugar is way down. Your ability to regulate hormones goes way down. All things that the liver does. So you want more water inside your cells than outside. When the water moves outside, it indicates inflammation, toxicity, poor health in general. It is really a powerful way to measure toxicity and inflammation. So you want more water inside your cells, less water outside your cells. And the ideal ratio, about 60% inside, 40% outside. I watch this number like a hawk because wherever the water is flowing to, going inside the cells or outside the cells, whatever the trend is, tells me which way the patient's health is trending. I cannot think of a more accurate measurement that is more sensitive for inflammation. This is a power one, folks. So I've just touched the surface on BIA. There's many other things it measures as well, capacitance and impedance, and these are all things that are important as well, but really gets into some pretty hard science. So we covered the ones that I think is important for you to know. This is a wonderful, easy, painless way to monitor which way your health is trending and how well you're responding to your lifestyle changes, the nutraceuticals that we're doing, and everything else that we are doing to affect your health. So refer to our DBC resources page for more information. You'll find lots of interesting things there about the BIA, so go for it.